Welcome. Welcome to our Thought for Today meeting today, and we're going to continue looking at growing in faith. Today I want to look at about your heart's desire and what it is that your heart's desire is about. I'm Andy, I'm the pastor at Community Church Longton, and it's great to have you with us this morning. I want to read a couple of verses out to us. First of all, a well-known verse from Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." And I just think that's a really encouraging verse, particularly at this time, that there is a hope, there is a future for what we're going through. I've got a quote, but I don't know who this quote is from. So if you've heard it before and know, let me know. The quote goes like this: "When God gives a no, give him a thank you, because he's protecting you from less than his best." I like that. When God gives a no, give him a thank you, because he's protecting you from less than his best. Another verse in Psalm 37 verse 4 says, "Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desire of your heart." Have you ever wondered why God doesn't give you the desire of your heart? See, this verse is often misquoted, I think. I think we often misquote this verse, and we get the first part of it, and we focus on getting the desire of our hearts, but we forget that whole bit about delighting in God, which is the very first part. And it would seem to me that our everyday life is made up with desires and wants. Some of them are absolutely great and fine and no problem at all. I'm sure some of them perhaps aren't God's best for us at all. Some of them can be actually unwise or maybe even unsafe, and God is really protecting us from those. We can't say God's going to give me my desire, especially if it was harmful or selfish. That's not God's promise to us. So, what do you do to delight yourself in the Lord? I'm going to put a poll up and see what we get. So there's a few questions up there. I don't know if you can see the poll or not. There's a few thoughts I put up there. By all means, put that poll up and answer them. We'll see if we get any responses. When you truly delight in God, we're focusing on his best plans instead of ours. Taking the action of delighting in him and delighting in God actually starts molding our desires to the ones that God wants to give us. When we delight in him, then he joyfully wants to give us the desires of our hearts because they line up with him, and that's really important. There we go. Fancy that. My camera battery, I think, just died on me, so that's really good. I should have checked that first. So where was I? It's about delighting in God, and it's about making sure that God's plans are our plans. You see, what God plans for us far surpasses anything that we can come up with. We may think our ideas are really great, that our ideas are really amazing, but when we line them up with what God wants and his plans, we're totally blown away by the amount of goodness that he's intended for us. Do you know what it means to delight in God? It's not just enjoying his blessings and his gifts that he's given us, but delighting in him and who he is. And it's spending time with him. It's letting his will, his character start to shape and influence us. So here's just a thought to leave you with to reflect on for a moment. Have you ever wondered why God doesn't give you the desire of your heart? Have you ever wondered what it is that stops that? Spend some time praying today and asking God if your desires are lining up with his best plans for your life.